They thought cutting my pay was smart business. What they didn't know was they just triggered a $9.5 million nuclear option I'd planted 16 years ago. When the dust settled, it wouldn't just destroy HR, it would take down half the executive team and expose a systematic purge of every veteran in the building. They were playing checkers. I'd been playing chess since 2008, back when IEDs in Fallujah taught me that survival depends on thinking 3 moves ahead. I'm Michael Patterson, 49 years old, and let me tell you about the Tuesday morning that changed everything. At 7:45 a.m., I rolled into Phoenix Defense Solutions, our $800 million defense contractor here in Seattle, and found someone else's nameplate in my parking spot. Section A, Row 3, Spot 14, the same spot I'd used for a decade, ever since I transitioned from Army Signal Corps to building classified networks for people who'd never heard a shot fired in anger. Efficiency optimization, chirped a voice behind me. Ashley Rodriguez, 29 years old, polished in a razor-sharp suit that probably cost more than my monthly mortgage. Our newly appointed Chief Human Capital Officer, because apparently HR Director didn't have enough corporate buzzwords to justify her MBA from Wharton. She offered a smile colder than a forward operating base at 0400 hours. We're reallocating based on utilization metrics. Metrics for parking? I asked, shouldering my laptop bag. 8 years in Iraq and Afghanistan taught me to spot incoming artillery before it landed. This felt exactly the same. Every square foot counts in our optimization strategy, she said, tapping her tablet like she was calling in air support. Your new spot's in Section D. Section D. Gravel lot behind the dumpsters, next to the contractor trucks. Message received. You're being moved to the expendable category. I'd seen this movie before, just with different scenery. In the Army, they called it reduction in force. In corporate America, they dressed it up with spreadsheets and performance improvement plans. Same outcome. Experienced personnel eliminated to make room for cheaper replacements. Over the next week, Ashley's pattern became crystal clear, and it wasn't random cost cutting. She was executing a precise military-style operation against every veteran in the building. Jason Miller, our senior systems engineer and former Navy crypto specialist, suddenly needed comprehensive badge access review. Michelle Davis, Air Force veteran who'd engineered our entire classified cloud infrastructure, got shut out of architecture meetings overnight. Stephen Johnson, Army Reserve database administrator who'd saved our contracts during the 2019 ransomware attack, lost admin rights without warning. The targeting was surgical. High-salary veterans with institutional knowledge manufacture friction through policy changes, document every resistance, build termination files so airtight their own legal team would approve the discharges. But Ashley Rodriguez made one fatal mistake. She assumed I was just another aging engineer clinging to relevance, counting days until retirement. She had no idea I'd weathered 2 hostile takeovers, an FBI security investigation, and a CEO hell-bent on offshoring our defense contracts to save money. And she definitely didn't know I'd been quietly stockpiling insurance policies since before she graduated high school. That afternoon, I pulled up a folder on my secure drive labeled Contingencies, created back in March 2008 during our startup phase when Phoenix needed someone who could build classified infrastructure from scratch. After 8 years maintaining communications networks in combat zones, scaling from 50 users to 50,000 seemed like a vacation. Inside that folder, buried in Section 7.3 of my original employment agreement, sat 23 pages of legal language that nobody at Phoenix had bothered reading in over a decade. I read the relevant clause 3 times, cross-referenced it with current stock prices, and smiled for the first time in weeks. Ashley thought she was executing corporate strategy. She had no clue I'd been preparing for this exact scenario since the day I signed my contract. The real offensive began Thursday at 3:17 p.m. Jason messaged me on our secure channel. Can't deploy critical security patches. System says needs special authorization. My root access still worked, but when I tried granting him elevated permissions, the authentication system flashed red. Requires CHCO approval, of course. Chief Human Capital Officer. Every technical decision now routed through someone who'd never configured a firewall or debugged code under deadline pressure. By Friday, the weekly defense briefing I'd run for 7 years vanished from my calendar, replaced by a strategic operations sync led by Anthony Clark. a 9-month product manager who still confused load balancers with network switches. His email cheerfully informed me I was welcome to attend as an observer. Observer. In the meeting I'd built from nothing, discussing systems I'd architected, reviewing contracts I'd personally negotiated with Pentagon procurement officers. I forwarded that email to my personal account and filed it in my growing evidence folder. Monday brought full escalation. Every budget request, server upgrade, vendor contract, security patch, everything now required Ashley's digital signature. Equipment purchases I'd approved independently for years suddenly needed her blessing for enhanced fiscal governance. Just tightening financial controls, she said sweetly when I cornered her about a critical security update delayed 3 days. Compliance is everything in defense contracting, I'm sure you understand. Translation, make your job impossible, document every delay, then blame you for operational failures. Then came her grand unveiling, a company-wide organizational transformation that would have been laughable if it wasn't so dangerous. In the main conference room, filled with confused engineers who actually understood how classified systems worked, she drew boxes and arrows on a whiteboard labeled synergy pods and agile decision matrices. Buried in her MBA presentation, all technical decisions would now flow through an Innovation Governance Council staffed by her hand-picked consultants, none of whom had security clearances. I stood up slowly. In the Army, we had protocols for when civilians started making tactical decisions they didn't understand. So when our classified systems crash at 2 a.m. during a live operation, who answers the emergency calls? The Council has established escalation protocols for SWO. Protocols don't debug kernel panics, I interrupted. They don't renegotiate defense contracts when authentication servers fail during Pentagon audits. They don't restore classified networks when foreign actors probe our systems. Every engineer in the room was nodding. These people understood that national security ran on expertise, not organizational charts. Ashley's smile became razor thin. Let's discuss this privately, Michael, meaning don't embarrass me in front of the technical staff. After the meeting, my keycard mysteriously failed at the server room. System upgrade, the security guard explained, handing me a yellow visitor badge. Temporary access restrictions. My root access got flagged for mandatory security rotation. My code signing permissions went under routine compliance review. Even my VPN certificates needed updated authorization protocols. Death by 1,000 administrative cuts, each one documented as necessary security enhancement. She was good at this game, I'll give her that. But while Ashley Rodriguez built her case for eliminating expensive veterans, I was building something far more devastating. And unlike her corporate maneuvering, my strategy had been tested in actual combat. That evening, I made the call I'd been planning for months. Kevin, it's Michael. Time to review Section 7.3. Kevin Foster, my attorney through 3 company acquisitions and 2 security investigations, knew exactly what I meant. After handling my transition from military to corporate life, he'd helped structure my original Phoenix contract back when the company was bleeding cash post-financial crisis. The equity acceleration clause? His voice sharpened with interest. Michael, please tell me they're not stupid enough to trigger that. 25% pay cut proposal coming tomorrow. Ashley Rodriguez thinks she's optimizing human capital costs. Kevin laughed, not humor, but professional appreciation for corporate stupidity. Do they have any idea what they're about to activate? I doubt anyone's read a contract from 2008. Half the leadership team wasn't even here when I negotiated those terms. Remind me of the numbers. I pulled up my stock portfolio, cross-referenced current market prices with my accumulated options. 16 years of unvested equity, current valuation around $9.5 million. Plus accumulated PTO, pension contributions, the works. Kevin whistled low. And the company? Phoenix is valued at $800 million, but we're leveraged for the Titan Systems acquisition. $200 million deal closes next quarter. Any material adverse change could crater the whole thing, so your payout doesn't just hurt their cash flow, it threatens their strategic acquisition. Exactly. Plus, we're in the middle of a Pentagon audit cycle. Our defense contracts are up for renewal. Bad timing for corporate drama. There was a pause. Michael, you know this will get ugly. They'll try everything. Challenge the contract, claim economic hardship, drag it through litigation. Let them try. I've got 16 years of documentation, every performance review, every project I've delivered, plus Ashley's targeting veterans specifically. That's not just age discrimination. It's systematically eliminating people with security clearances they can't easily replace. Speaking of which, how's your clearance status? Top secret/SCI renewed last year. Clean background check, no financial stress indicators. The Pentagon loves guys like me. Experienced, stable, impossible to compromise. And Ashley probably doesn't understand that security clearances take 18 months to process, cost $50,000 each, and require continuous monitoring. She thinks talent is interchangeable. Fire expensive veterans, hire cheap contractors, pocket the savings. Doesn't realize she's about to gut the institutional knowledge that keeps our classified systems operational. After ending the call with Kevin, I drove home thinking about family. My daughter Sarah, 19 and a sophomore at Stanford, studying computer science with dreams of working in cybersecurity like her old man. Tuition alone was $70,000 per year. Money I could cover comfortably now, but not if Ashley succeeded in forcing me out with a damaged reputation. At dinner that night, Sarah called from her dorm. "Dad, how's work going? You sounded stressed last time we talked." I looked out my kitchen window at the Seattle skyline, lights reflecting off Elliott Bay. "Just some corporate restructuring, kiddo. Nothing you need to worry about." "Is it about the defense contracts?" My computer science professor mentioned Phoenix in class, said you guys do critical infrastructure for the military. Smart kid. What did he say? That companies like yours are targets for foreign intelligence services. That experienced engineers with security clearances are valuable specifically because they're hard to replace. Your professor's right. Experience matters in this business. Dad, you've been doing this longer than I've been alive. Don't let some MBA push you around. After we hung up, I poured a glass of bourbon, not the good stuff, not yet, and reviewed my situation. Ashley Rodriguez thought she was executing a clean corporate efficiency play. What she didn't understand was that in defense contracting, you're not just managing employees, you're managing national security assets. Every veteran she targeted represented decades of specialized knowledge. Jason Miller didn't just run network security, he understood Chinese and Russian cyber tactics from his Navy intelligence days. Michelle Davis didn't just manage our cloud infrastructure, she'd designed battlefield networks that kept soldiers alive in Afghanistan. Stephen Johnson didn't just maintain databases, he'd recovered critical intelligence from damaged hard drives in Iraq. Ashley was about to learn that some expertise can't be outsourced to the lowest bidder. Tuesday morning arrived with Seattle's typical drizzle. I dressed carefully, not my usual business casual, but my best suit. If you're going to trigger a $9.5 million nuclear option, you might as well look professional. At 4:23 p.m., Ashley's email landed in my inbox, decorated with corporate emoji and passive-aggressive enthusiasm. "Hi, Michael. Let's connect regarding your compensation structure alignment. Exciting opportunities ahead." I replied with military brevity. "See you then." No explanations, no negotiations, no corporate theater. Just confirmation that I'd received her message and would attend her little performance. That night, I backed up everything. Not to steal, I'm not stupid enough to violate security protocols, but to document exactly what institutional knowledge Phoenix was about to lose. Technical specifications I'd memorized, vendor relationships I'd cultivated, crisis procedures I'd developed through 16 years of solving problems nobody else understood. The authentication systems I'd built in 2009, still processing $200 million worth of classified contracts. The disaster recovery protocols I'd written after the 2019 ransomware attack. The vendor management processes that kept our security clearances compliant with Pentagon standards. All of it would walk out the door with me, and Ashley Rodriguez had no idea how expensive that was about to become. I also called Patrick Reynolds, our VP of Engineering, and the only executive I still respected. Patrick was Army Corps of Engineers before Phoenix, understood both technical complexity and military culture. "Patrick, heads up. Tomorrow might get interesting. Ashley's finally making her move. She's offering me a 25% pay cut and demotion, reporting to Anthony Clark." Patrick was quiet for a long moment. "Michael, that's insane. Anthony doesn't know a firewall from a screen door. And with the Pentagon audit next month?" "Exactly. Just wanted you to know what's coming. What are you going to do?" I smiled, thinking about Section 7.3 of my employment agreement. Let's just say I've been preparing for this conversation longer than Ashley's been out of business school. Wednesday morning, 9:57 a.m. Game time. I walked into Phoenix headquarters for what I suspected might be the last time as an employee. Through the lobby windows, I could see Ashley's corner office, papers arranged with military precision on her desk. She'd prepared for this meeting like a corporate assault, complete with termination documents and legal justification. Too bad for her, I'd been preparing for this war since 2008. I walked into Ashley's corner office at exactly 10 midnight. Through the glass walls, I could see her arranging papers with the precision of a military briefing, every document aligned, every angle calculated. Beside her chair sat a thick manila folder. Undoubtedly my meticulously crafted termination package, complete with performance improvement plans, policy violations, and legal justifications. "Michael, please sit," she said, gesturing to the deliberately lower chair positioned across from her desk. Classic corporate power play. Elevation equals dominance. In the Army, we called this battlefield positioning. Water? Coffee? I know this can be stressful. I'm fine. Behind her, neatly arranged business books, radical candor, high output management, the lean startup. Looked more like stage props than actual reading material. Everything in this office was designed to project competence and authority to people who didn't know better. "I wanted to have an honest conversation about your evolving role here," she began, voice smooth as briefing slides. "You've been incredibly valuable to Phoenix. 16 years is remarkable longevity in defense contracting." She said longevity like it was a terminal diagnosis, not a strategic asset. But as we modernize our operational framework and align with industry best practices, we need to ensure compensation packages reflect current market realities. She slid a crisp document toward me. "Your current structure is significantly above benchmark standards for your position." I scanned the proposal without picking it up. 25% salary reduction, demotion from Director of Infrastructure to Senior Systems Engineer, new reporting structure to Anthony Clark, the product manager who'd asked me last month if we could just move the classified data to Google Cloud. "This is your formal offer?" I kept my voice flat, emotionless. In combat, you never let the enemy read your intentions. It's about right-sizing our human capital investments to reflect optimal value delivery metrics. You'd maintain a meaningful contributory role with updated performance expectations aligned to current market dynamics. Pure MBA nonsense. Corporate buzzwords designed to disguise the fact that she was trying to humiliate me into quitting. And if I declined this generous opportunity, her smile turned predatory, that would be unfortunate from a mutual fit perspective. We'd need to conduct a comprehensive assessment of strategic organizational alignment going forward. Translation: take the pay cut or get fired. I leaned back in the uncomfortable chair and looked at her directly. "Ashley, we both know what this really is. Let's skip the corporate performance art." For a split second, her polished mask slipped, revealing the calculating strategist underneath. She was annoyed that I wasn't playing the shocked, desperate victim she'd scripted for this scene. "Fine," she said, dropping the MBA speak. "The market's evolved. Your compensation is unsustainable for current budget realities. Accept the restructure or we explore separation alternatives. I need to contact my legal counsel." The word legal hit her like incoming fire. "Michael, that's really not necessary. This is just a standard compensation alignment." I was already dialing Kevin's number. "Kevin, it's happening. Send the letter we prepared." I held Ashley's gaze while speaking into the phone. "She just made the formal offer. You'll have documentation in 90 seconds. I hung up and pushed the unsigned proposal back across her desk. 16 years, Ashley. Maybe somebody should review what kind of contract employee number 12 negotiated when this company was hemorrhaging money after the 2008 financial crisis and desperately needed someone who could build classified infrastructure from scratch. Her phone buzzed, then her laptop chimed, then her desk line started ringing like a fire alarm. "What did you—" She grabbed her phone, color draining from her face as she read the incoming email from Kevin's law firm. Section 7.3, I said quietly. Any material compensation reduction exceeding 20% after 15 years of continuous service triggers immediate acceleration of all unvested equity compensation. That's approximately $9.5 million at today's closing price. Pre-tax, of course. Ashley stared at her phone screen like it contained nuclear launch codes. Her carefully orchestrated corporate power play had just detonated a financial bomb that could crater the entire company. "Your move," I said and walked out. Behind me, I heard her frantically dialing. "Get me Timothy Brooks immediately. Emergency legal consultation required." The elevator ride down 32 floors gave me exactly enough time to appreciate the irony. Ashley Rodriguez, MBA from Wharton, corporate efficiency expert, had just triggered the most expensive personnel decision in Phoenix Defense Solutions history. By the time I reached my car in the gravel lot of Section D, my phone was exploding with notifications. 42 missed calls, 89 text messages, emails flooding my inbox like a coordinated cyber attack on my personal life. I silenced everything, drove home through Seattle traffic, and poured a glass of the good whiskey, the 18-year-old single malt I'd been saving for my daughter's college graduation or my own retirement, whichever came first. Apparently, today qualified as a special occasion. On my kitchen counter, my secure laptop glowed with encrypted files I'd been maintaining for over a decade. I opened the folder labeled Employment Documentation, Phoenix Defense Solutions, and pulled up my original contract. Employment Agreement, Michael Patterson, March 15, 2008. 23 pages of legal language that nobody at Phoenix had bothered reading since the Obama administration. The company had gone through 4 CEOs, 3 CFOs, and countless HR directors since then. Ashley Rodriguez probably didn't even know this document existed. But there it was, on page 7, section 7.3. In the event that base compensation is reduced by more than 20% after 15 years of continuous service, or if termination occurs without documented cause post 15 years, all unvested equity compensation shall immediately vest at current fair market value. This provision supersedes any subsequent employment agreements, policy modifications, or organizational restructuring initiatives. I'd negotiated that clause when Phoenix was burning through venture capital, desperate for someone who could scale their security infrastructure to handle classified government contracts. The founding CFO had signed without hesitation. After all, what were the chances anyone would last 15 years at a struggling defense startup? My phone rang. Kevin Foster, sounding like he'd just won the legal lottery. Michael, I've got Timothy Brooks and Jennifer Wilson from Phoenix Legal on a conference call. They want to discuss immediate resolution options. Put them through. Timothy's voice was tight with barely controlled panic. Michael, we need to discuss this contractual interpretation issue. What's to interpret? The clause is straightforward. It's a 16-year-old contract with potentially outdated compensation structures. Still legally binding, Kevin interrupted cheerfully. Phoenix has honored every other provision for 16 years. Selective enforcement would be breach of contract. Silence on the conference line. I could practically hear the lawyers calculating billable hours and settlement costs. We'd like to schedule a formal meeting, Jennifer Wilson said carefully. Tomorrow morning, full executive team, explore mutually acceptable resolution frameworks. My client doesn't need to negotiate, Kevin replied. The compensation reduction was formally offered. The equity acceleration clause triggered automatically. Whether Mr. Patterson accepts or declines the original proposal is irrelevant now. We could withdraw the compensation restructuring initiative, Timothy suggested desperately. Are you saying Ashley Rodriguez lacks authority to make binding compensation decisions? I asked. Because that sounds like a governance failure requiring board investigation. More silence. In the background, I could hear muffled arguing and what sounded like someone dropping a coffee mug. The real panic hadn't even started yet. They were still processing the immediate financial impact. $9.5 million was just the beginning. Once this news leaked, Phoenix's stock price would crater, threatening their leveraged acquisition of Titan Systems. The Pentagon audit scheduled for next month would raise questions about leadership stability. Competitor defense contractors would start poaching their best engineers. Ashley Rodriguez had just initiated a corporate disaster that would ripple through the entire industry. And I hadn't even played my strongest card yet. Thursday morning brought the first system failures. At 6:47 a.m., my phone lit up with emergency alerts from Phoenix's monitoring systems. Critical authentication servers were failing across multiple classified networks. The Pentagon audit was scheduled for Monday, and our $200 million defense contracts hung in the balance. Patrick Reynolds called, sounding like he hadn't slept. Michael, we've got a situation. The classified authentication infrastructure is experiencing cascading failures. Government auditors are flying in from D.C., and we can't even log into our own systems. I sipped my coffee and watched the sunrise over Puget Sound. Sounds like an operational challenge, Patrick. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Michael, please. This isn't just about Phoenix anymore. We've got active military operations depending on our networks. If these systems stay down, people in uniform could get hurt. That hit different. Whatever corporate games Ashley Rodriguez wanted to play, I wouldn't let soldiers pay the price for her incompetence. The authentication tokens are tied to legacy certificates I implemented in 2009, I said finally. Documentation exists, but it's buried in systems Ashley's efficiency drive archived. The master keys are in a secure vault that requires my biometric authorization. How long to fix it? For me? 6 hours, maybe 8. For someone learning it from scratch? 6 months, assuming they have the security clearance to access the documentation. Within an hour, my phone was ringing again. Brian Walker, Phoenix's CEO, calling personally. Michael, I'll be direct. The Pentagon is making very unhappy phone calls. Our defense contracts are at risk, the Titan acquisition could collapse, and our stock is already down 12% in pre-market trading. Congratulations, you hired someone who decided institutional knowledge was expendable. What do you need? Full equity payout is specified in Section 7.3. $9.5 million, immediate wire transfer, plus healthcare continuation for 3 years, and a commitment to review every veteran Ashley targeted for potential reinstatement. Brian was quiet for a long moment. The board will never approve $9.5 million. Then explain to the Pentagon why their classified networks are offline, because you wouldn't honor a 16-year-old contract. Give me 2 hours. By noon, I was back in the Phoenix server room, tools in hand, working alongside Jason Miller and Stephen Johnson, both of whom had been quietly told their security reviews were suspended pending resolution of the current crisis. Funny how institutional knowledge became valuable when national security was actually at stake. The authentication infrastructure I'd built in 2009 was elegantly complex, designed when Phoenix was transitioning from startup to serious defense contractor. Multiple layers of encryption, biometric verification, certificate authorities that required manual validation. It worked perfectly for 15 years because I maintained it personally, but Ashley's efficiency optimization had archived the documentation and revoked my system access last week. Jesus Christ, Jason muttered, looking at the certificate architecture. This is like archaeological encryption. How did you even remember all these dependencies? Same way you remember enemy radio frequencies, I said, rebuilding authentication chains from memory. Some things you don't forget. By 6 p.m. Thursday, systems were stabilizing. By Friday morning, everything was operational for the Pentagon audit. Phoenix Defense Solutions passed with flying colors, though the auditors noted concerning personnel transition issues that could affect operational continuity. Friday afternoon, Kevin called with the final settlement terms. They've agreed to everything, he said, sounding almost disappointed the fight was over. $9.5 million wire transfer completed an hour ago. Healthcare continuation for 3 years. Written commitment to review all veteran terminations from the past 18 months. I checked my bank account. $9.5 million, minus taxes, left me with enough to cover Sarah's remaining Stanford tuition, pay off my mortgage, and set aside a comfortable retirement fund. More importantly, it sent a message across the defense industry. Experienced veterans weren't disposable assets. That evening, I called Sarah with the good news. Dad, are you serious? You're financially set? More than set, kiddo. Focus on your studies. Money's not a worry anymore. What happened to that woman who was giving you problems? Ashley Rodriguez is no longer with Phoenix. Turns out there are consequences for trying to eliminate people who actually understand how critical systems work. Dad, I'm proud of you for standing up to them. 6 months later, I stood outside Phoenix Defense Solutions one last time. The company had survived, barely. Ashley Rodriguez now worked for a nonprofit, helping displaced workers fight age discrimination. Ironic, but apparently effective. She'd learned expensive lessons about the value of institutional knowledge. The defense industry had taken notice. Companies across Seattle were quietly reviewing their veteran hiring practices, adding protective clauses to senior employee contracts, and reconsidering the wisdom of optimizing away decades of experience. Jason Miller had been promoted to Director of Security. Michelle Davis was leading a new veteran recruitment initiative. Stephen Johnson got his own team and a budget for modernizing legacy systems without losing critical knowledge. Patrick Reynolds caught me in the lobby. The board approved a new policy. Any employee with more than 10 years' experience and active security clearance gets enhanced contract protection. About time. Michael, the consulting offer stands. Your terms, your schedule. We could use your help mentoring the next generation. I thought about it. The money was good, but more importantly, maybe I could help prevent another Ashley Rodriguez from nearly destroying what took decades to build. I'll consider it, I said, but I'm keeping my security clearances current, just in case. That evening, Sarah called from Stanford. Dad, my computer science professor mentioned you in class again. Said you're becoming famous in cybersecurity circles. Famous for what? For proving that experience beats efficiency every time. He called it the Patterson principle. Companies that optimize away institutional knowledge fail when they need expertise most. I laughed. Not a bad legacy for a 49-year-old veteran who refused to be discarded for budget savings. They still call me the clause in defense contractor circles, like I'm some corporate legend who brought down an entire system with one contract provision. But that's not the real story. The real story is that expertise has value, experience matters, and sometimes the best revenge is simply being irreplaceable when people finally realize what they almost threw away. Ashley Rodriguez learned that lesson the expensive way. So did Phoenix Defense Solutions. And across the industry, veteran employees with decades of knowledge started reading their contracts a little more carefully, knowing that preparation today could mean justice tomorrow. Game, set, and match. Because here's what I learned in 16 years of corporate warfare. They can take your parking spot, cut your access, and question your relevance, but they can't delete the institutional knowledge that lives between your ears. And if you're smart enough to protect yourself legally before you need it, that knowledge becomes the most expensive lesson they'll ever pay for.